So we are a school for kids with a variety of learning disabilities. I would say at least half of the kids that come to our school have ADHD or symptoms of ADHD, along with some other learning impairments as well. So working with kids with ADHD is very normal, very typical for us. We deal with it every day. We were fortunate enough to begin a computer literacy program about a year ago, where we purchased Chromebooks for all of our kids to use, and we began using Google Classroom in the actual classroom as a platform for learning. And we also started integrating speech to text and text to speech for some of our kids that, along with maybe ADHD, have dysgraphia, dyslexia, some other form of learning disability, to where that kind of accommodation or that kind of technical support would help them be more successful in a classroom. So when we actually made the transition, several of our teachers had already been using Google Classroom, and many of our kids had already been familiar with it. So we were able to make a fairly smooth transition. For our staff, I think that was one of the bigger challenges. Teaching is an art, and sometimes things happen organically in a classroom. When you have the virtual barrier, sometimes it feels like it stifles some of that creativity and those genuine interactions that you have with your students. So that was a problem for our staff, but with communication and learning to collaborate with each other virtually, we were able to support each other and kind of work through some of those rough patches. The ADHD learner and virtual learning don't necessarily sync up very often. It was and continues to be a challenge for us as we prepare to start back with students actually in the classroom August 18th. Typically ADHD learners really thrive with hands-on, small groups, breaks, frequent breaks, being able to move. And when you take a kid and plunk them in front of a computer and hope that all that stuff is going to happen, oftentimes it doesn't. So what we were able to do through the last semester of school, and then somewhat over summer school, and as we worked with kids virtually over the summer, is find apps, extensions, and ways to plan lessons that are more conducive to the learning style of an ADHD student. We use an extension called Hippo Video, and we add it on to Google Classroom, and this is great for young kids. So you can ask a question and I can make a video and I can say, hey, what happened at this time in history? And the kids, instead of sitting down and typing, they could maybe build a diorama and show that part of history they were talking about in class and talk to me, and I can respond, and then they can respond to each other. So you get that, it's not the same, but you get a more genuine interaction, and you can kind of facilitate some of the social stuff that the kids need too. It's not easy. They have to learn how to use the technology first, but there's ways to overcome some of it.